everyone! Today I'm going to be doing my first tag video. I am going to be doing the reading habits tag. I originally saw it on Bookable's channel, and I believe it was originally created by the Book Jazz. So I will link both of their videos down below for your viewing pleasure, and let's jump right into the tag. The first question is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? And to be honest, you're looking at it. I spend most of my day on this couch, and that's where I do most of my reading at home, at least. Every once in a while, like before bed, I'll just read in my room on my bed. But most of the time, I'm just sitting here in my living room and reading and watching YouTube videos and playing with my rabbit and things like that. So, and mostly that is because I have nowhere else to go. I have a pretty small apartment, so it's kind of here or in my room, and that's it. The second question is bookmark or random piece of paper, and I kind of force bookmarks out of random pieces of paper. Like I use post-it notes and like flags and things like that. So like I make them be bookmarks, or I consider them bookmarks. But I also have actual bookmarks that I've gotten from the library and stuff like that. I don't tend to use just like a random scrap of paper that's right next to me, as I usually, like when I start a book, I put like a post-it note or something in it, so it's already there for whenever I do need a bookmark. The third question is, can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a certain chapter or a certain amount of pages? And I can stop reading at any time, but if I know I'm going to be stopping reading soon, I will go into like at the end of a chapter or something like that, but I don't have to. I can just put my book down whenever I need to, if I'm feeling tired or if I get interrupted, and that's probably because I'm just used to having to do that all the time from reading in random places. Do you eat or drink while reading? I can. I don't usually, but I can if I wanted to. Number 5, multitasking, music or TV while reading. I can definitely like watch TV, I guess listen to TV or listen to music while I'm reading, but I tend not to. I tend to try to have it, or I guess I do, but it'll be like a really, really quiet. No, that's not a good answer either. I usually have the TV on and mute, and then I read. I have no idea why. For some reason, if the TV's off when I'm reading, I just feel really awkward, but I don't like it to be loud when I'm reading. I just like to be able to see it out of the corner of my eye. I don't know. Number 6, one book at a time or several at once. Last year, I was very into the one book at a time. I would just read and stop and read and stop. And that's probably because it took me like a day or so to read a book, because I was able to read at work a lot of the time. But recently, I've been picking up a few different books at once and kind of finishing them whenever I can. So, depends on my mood, I suppose. Number 7, reading at home or everywhere. Everywhere, anytime, any place, anything. You name it. I purposely have one book in my purse at all times so I can read it wherever I go, and that's because like I take the bus to work or I walk to work, and I like to be able to read while I'm walking or on the bus, and I will read for like 2 minutes at a time and then close my book and like cross the road or whatever and start up again, you name it. I will read while I'm waiting anywhere. If I have any amount of downtime, I would rather be reading than like checking Facebook or anything like that. And if I know I'm going to finish a book, I have to have another one with me, or I can't handle it. I need to always be able to be reading if I want to. Reading out loud or silently in your head. I guess I just read silently in my head. I'm not a very good out loud reader, and that's probably because I never had to when I was younger. So yeah, I just read in my head. I try really hard not to read out loud if I don't have to. Do you read ahead or even skip pages? I have this thing that I do where I will, before I start a book, I will always read the last sentence if it's in paper format. If it's on Kindle, I usually don't, but if it's on paper format, I need to read the last sentence of the book. I don't know why, it just judges how I feel about the entire book going into it. And it usually doesn't ruin anything for me because I don't know who a lot of the characters are, or I don't know who's saying what, but it will just be the last sentence. And, yeah, so I technically I read ahead. I wouldn't say I skip pages, but I do go through times when it'll be really slow, and I'll just skim it really quickly to get kind of a gist, but I won't fully in-depth read it. I wouldn't say I read ahead, I do look ahead. If it's a physical book and I'm just really excited for something, I'll be like, oh, let's go down 10 pages from now, or something like that. So, I mean, kind of, Yeah, I guess so. Number 10, breaking the spine or keeping it like new. I don't really break the spines, but I wouldn't say I keep them like new either. I keep them in red condition. If I'm going to read a book, I'm going to read a book, and whatever happens when I'm reading it is going to happen. Like I said, I bring my books everywhere with me, so they will be in my purse, and sometimes they can get maybe scratched by my keys that are on my purse, or my wallet is pink, and it's kind of old, so like the ink that's like on my wallet will rub up on my books sometimes, like on the bottom of the pages, and I'm pretty sure I damaged like 20 library books accidentally by doing that. I didn't realize until way later, and that's just, it's a well-used book. That's what happens when you read books, and I think that is just fine. Number 11, do you write in your books? I used to highlight passages or like sentences or something that I really liked in all my books so I can go back and find them later. But I found out that highlighter doesn't really stay in books for very long, and it erases very quickly. And I've never wanted, I don't like the look of underlining at all, so I've never written in a book. I don't really write notes or anything like that. I just used to highlight, and I stopped doing that because it didn't last very long anyway. And then the last question is, who do you tag? And I tag all of you guys. If you've not done this video before, try it. It might be fun. You might learn some stuff about yourself. But those are all the questions for the reading habits tag, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.